After 29 years working in polling stations, this should have been Joe's 30th, but he resigned ahead of these elections in protest at the new voter ID rules.
Working on this polling station, you tend to get to know the voters, you know who's coming in and out from year to year. It would be very difficult for anybody to impersonate somebody else's vote.
In Nottingham's Hyson Green, some people were being turned away today, like Perna.
You had your ID, but you're going to have to go back and get yours.
Yeah, I don't have a here need ID, but I don't have a home, but I'm not being here.
Lal and his wife were also turned away.
I have my ID, passport, but he didn't accept, so I bring it original one.
Because you had it on your phone, but they said you needed.
My phone, yeah.
But you need a paper copy.
Paper copy, yeah.
But 10 minutes later, they were back and eager to vote. Others, like Bugsy, were ready for the new rules.
It does make voting a little bit more secure, I think, because there are so many folks who want to wiggle around on the results, make it more than questionable. Whereas with voter ID, that can't really happen. I suppose they'll find a way around it in the end, but who knows?
5 minutes down the road, some voters were unclear about the requirements here. Niam left her native Sudan in the 90s and worries many aren't aware of the new rules.
My daughter, she's in university. She told me, Mom, she called me, she said, Mom, you should take your ID. Every woman, she should vote. Because in our country, the women, she don't have voice. But in this country, I think we should working together to help this country.
It's thought between 1 and 3 million people may not have valid ID. The data on who these voters are is mixed and complex, though, with several different groups potentially affected.
We spent about 3 hours at 2 polling stations in this area and have seen around 10 people who've been turned away for not having the right ID. Now, half of them did come back, and while no one seemed that annoyed by any of it, you can see why some are worried about the impact these new rules might have. One of the city's MPs says with few recorded instances of voter fraud, the policy isn't needed.
It's a very expensive solution to a problem that doesn't exist. And then you've got to look at why the Tories are doing this. It's because they stand to benefit, because a lot of those people who are less likely to have photo ID are also the same people who are less likely to vote Conservative. It's an attack on democracy, and it really amounts to voter suppression.
Ministers fiercely deny this and say the new rules will ensure elections are free and fair, pointing to trials showing next to no impact on turnout. Labour will almost certainly keep Nottingham in this local ballot. It may take a general election for the full impact of these ID reforms to become clear, though. Rob Powell, Sky News in Nottingham.